Hey everyone, I'm back at it with my AgTech Dogwalk. Had a few 3 days off. Let's just say kids are crazy, so things happen, get in the way. Sickness mainly. But yeah, they're around there somewhere. So it's a little too windy to me to walk outside today. But I wanted to talk today about a few things. For one, if you follow me or see this or have any kind of interest in it whatsoever, I am headed to the World Agritech Summit in San Francisco next week to peruse and, I don't know, have some fun, meet some new people, probably piss a few people off too, I suppose, as I tend to do with my cynical self in AgTech. But more or less, trying to just breathe in what I feel everyone's thinking. There's frustration, doubts in the whole side of AgTech. Some areas are on the up and up. Some areas are really confused, but we'll see how it goes. So if you're there, you're seeing this, reach out to me. LinkedIn is honestly probably the easiest, or go to the Uncensored website and you can see my email there too. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about today is a little article that I saw from some colleagues that I'm not super close to them, but I think we know each other through our quips. Was it Tenacious Ventures, Sarah and Matthew, and then Rishi. I'm gonna murder his last name, but he's got his own Software Feeding the World newsletter, and they put a little report that illustrates the issues with AgTech software, the adoption issues, that software sucks basically in ag. Things I've talked about and written about for years now, even going back into, when I would write articles for precisionag.com monthly for a few years there. So it's all the points they brought up are nothing new to me, and they brought up a lot of similar thought process and points on it. So I think you can just go to their site and find it right now and read through it. It's like 15 pages. I'm not going to summarize the whole dang thing, but more or less, they grab into the thought of the free software giveaway thing that many input companies have done, which kind of destroys the value. They don't say it in that way, but and I talked about it in my latest newsletter, the enshittification of AgTech, and then the shituational process that we're in. So check that out. That's at my website as well, or it's actually at my Substack newsletter site. I probably need to link that a little better. It's around. Read that. It kind of talks about many of the same points, and other ones have too. But one of the things that they dive into is AI could kind of solve some of the issues with the low adoption and all the disparate issues with data coming together and the right answers and all this stuff. Even just the usability of software, and I agree that that stuff can help. And while it is scary, it's not what Hollywood and books and TV shows have addressed it to be. At least I don't think in the ag sense, and other stuff too. I mean, it's really augmented intelligence. It's just multiplying what a human does and how they think through it in a algorithmic way. It's not necessarily coming up with new information. It's just going through the information, connecting like and like. It's really a if and or else question, just millions of times over and over again, which, yes, I can do it, you can do it. It's just doing it a lot faster and at a larger scale. So it's connecting the dots easier. And yeah, that is needed in software. I don't disagree. How it's implemented, it's new. We're new in that whole phase of it with the large language models and stuff like that. but it's promising. I'm a little worried about groups that, say we're doing AI, ML, LLMs, whatever, and using kind of as a hype thing to raise money, and while they don't really produce much results. It's clearly happening now to some extent and will continue, but there is some promise there. Now, one of the things I don't think it addresses well enough is that report, and it's not to put them down on it. It's only 15 pages. You can't do everything. There's a limit. So, and that's fine. I think other people will break it down, like myself. There's this cultural battle within ag. It is agriculture, by the way, and there's another side to it. And then there's also, there's the stubbornness. There's the in ag, we do the things that we've always done. We're creatures of habit more than most industries. And tech tried to come in and say, well, you don't have to be creatures of habit anymore. And many were like, yeah, but we are, and it's a slow cycle, and a lot of lessons has been learned. And I could spend hours in diving into the whys and whatnot, but that's a big reason why adoption has been bad. And then there's been, like I said, bad actors that have kind of ruined the value or overhyped it, didn't realize the full grasp of the industry. And Silicon Valley coming in, and investors, people that are not in ag traditionally, have not all, just some have made it a little more complex to try these things again. And my next two podcasts kind of talk about that. My next one is with Steve Rayo, former CEO of Farm Market ID, which was sold to DTN a few years back, and he's now independent, looking for a new thing, but he's dealt with a lot of data and systems and raising money and financial stuff. So listen to that. That's coming Monday. And then follow-up one is with Kip Pendleton, who's been in the ag industry in all sorts of ways for the last 30 years. He's seen it all. And we talk about what's needed to help on that. And really it comes into more of the community aspect of things. So look for that. I'm not going to dive deep into that yet either. Overall, though, the AgTech adoption problem is a little more complicated than I think that report addresses. And one area that maybe I think they could have broke it down a little better, because they said, a lot of the softwares have come out from input companies or they've acquired them, which I don't really agree on that. Yes, powerhouses of farm software has come out from the majors out there, but there are a lot of smaller ones. And then they kind of say, they've came out more recently, and a majority have. That is true. But there's a lot of other groups that are still kicking strong, or somewhat strong, that are still very independent. They're local, niche ones, different ones from different states, regions of the world, and they don't get the press, or they don't get talked about as much because it's not out there and open, or they haven't raised money and stuff like that. And some of those groups are doing well. They're actually doing good with adoption for the most part, and I think they could have broken that into the report a little bit more. But like I said, there's only so much room. It's not the end of the world. Overall, this one's getting a little long, but it's going to be interesting after next week, and I'm going to try to do my AgTech Dogwalk here, just in front of people, not my dogs, next week. So that'll be interesting, and you'll see probably a lot of little videos from different groups, just getting raw and real into it all, and seeing what they think, and with my little opinionated clips. So other than that, that's about it. And look for more. Hopefully I could do another one here tomorrow. We'll see how the sick kid things go. But anyways, until next time, we'll see you around. Bye.